What is temple in Arun is dawn. Well, this temple is perhaps the most historic, definitely the most historic, but perhaps the most interesting architectural monument along the Chao Phraya. As you go up the river from any of the major hotels, from say the Oriental or whatever, when you go up river towards Ayutthaya, as you go up, it's on the left bank. On the right bank, you have the places where the royal barges are kept. And these are tremendous constructions, these barges. But Wat Arun was special because its stupa was Kerma and not Sukhothai. And therefore a single central edifice. And it was tall enough to catch the morning light, especially if you're going upriver and it's in front of you and the sun is behind you. Now, I wasn't a Christian at that time, although I believed in God, because the more you think about the universe, the more you think about life around you, you know there is a deity. This is not chance. It's not, as far as I'm concerned, a spontaneous combustion, a big bang or whatever. There had to be a creator. Of course, it took me quite some time to come to the fervent belief, the deep belief that the creator is Christian and God. Our God, my God, personal. For me, that's the way I see the universe now. He created, He's a creator. But at that time, I also realized that some of the key attributes of God included compassion. And I saw compassion in the Lord Buddha. And of course, compassion is a part of all the major religions. You think of the Prophet Muhammad, there's compassion. You think of the great Hindu scriptures, there's compassion. You think of the Chinese, Taoists and so on, there is compassion there. Although the form of the compassion differs. So for me, this was a religious experience, but without the religious doctrine. It was a humanistic doctrine. And it was a very personal experience. It took some time before this poem came out, So for me, the experience was moving in the sense that every time I read this poem, I recall exactly the combination of emotions and so on. And when you visit a place like this, you like to be alone. We were part of a team. I can date it actually. It must have been sometime in September 1954. I was an undergrad then. And I had just been tried and acquitted, if not acquitted, discharged for the Fajar trials, the sedition, And so my history lecturer, at that time Mr. Ken Drigoning, but later on Raffles professor, asked me and says, look, you've just gone through this, why don't you come along with us? And I was a fairly good history student. So I said, okay, I'll come along, So we went up. And I was never part of the central group because they had a project. I wasn't part of the project. And it was nice in a way because you were an outsider and half an insider, so it was good. You had the best of both worlds. When they had to take notes of certain things in the museum, I didn't have to. I just went there and looked at what was there and enjoyed myself, tracing and trying to follow the various historical periods it moved through. But Wat Arun was really beautiful. And Bangkok is a city of temples. And Wat Arun is unique, absolutely unique. Its architecture, its atmosphere, its location, and its place in Thai history. So it was nice. And across the river, a bit further down, you had the royal barges. And Thailand, as you know, has tremendous history, especially of the Buddhist kind. I peel within for heart a stupa templed grace, cleansed by the ash of kings, grew a memory large, yielded the secret of its doing. You, my father's maid, left wheat and incense. I, vestigial of that line, despite the buffeting of days, still quicken in your gaze. Lord Buddha, shaman with a wheel, was in the loaves of Christ. Chao Phraya, broad belly of the day, turned the corner, feet dipped, washed away pregnancies of hate. Ears of mango, eyes of agate, germinating in the sky, in karma. with hands that calmed waters. But this between time, the pressure of your eyes, I cannot hold, yet will never die or gather crust.